Hello there, good evening. Welcome to Look North, our top story tonight. A man who tried to set fire to a hotel housing asylum seekers near Rotherham has been jailed for 9 years.
When the fires were deliberately set, they thought they were about to die.
The judge describes it as one of the worst cases of its kind stemming from the disorder. Also tonight, we're at Huddersfield Royal Infirmary Accident and Emergency Department, which is under pressure due to winter viruses. And we're with the friends who've been meeting up every year for 65 years, the last 25 at the Yorkshire Sculpture Park.
Well, it is the season of festive lights and illuminations, but in Leeds, they've got something a little bit special going on over the next few nights, featuring a city landmark and a gingerbread man. More later in the programme.
And this picture in Firely sums today up. What a miserable day. Another cloudy one tomorrow, but something much better on Saturday. Join me for that detailed forecast.
Hello, thank you for your company this Thursday evening. First tonight, a man who tried to set fire to a hotel housing asylum seekers near Rotherham has been jailed for 9 years. Levi Fishhook smashed windows and stoked a flaming bin at a Holiday Inn Express in Manvers in August. Judge Jeremy Richardson KC described it as one of the worst cases of its kind stemming from the Rotherham disorder. Fishlock has been given a joint longest prison sentence in connection with the UK's summer of riots. He's the 80th person to be sentenced, according to BBC Research, for his part in the trouble in and around the hotel. Phil Bodmer sent this report from Sheffield Crown Court.
Levi Fishlock, wearing a distinctive purple shirt, is seen throwing bricks at police officers and loading flammable wooden fence panels into a burning waste bin. The 31-year-old travelled from his home in Barnsley to take part in disorder outside a hotel housing asylum seekers in Rotherham in August. Today at Sheffield Crown Court, the father of one was jailed for 9 years for arson with intent to endanger life and violent disorder.
In his sentencing remarks, the Recorder of Sheffield, His Honour Judge Jeremy Richardson KC, told Fishlock, "You were a leading participant in an ignorant racist attempt at mob rule." He said you were to the fore, indeed you were right at the front, in this truly appalling civil disorder of major proportions. He said an exemplary and deterrent sentence is necessary.
The venom of racism and racially motivated violence suffused the events from first to last.
More than 60 police officers were injured during the violence, some seriously. As rioters circled the hotel, security staff and people inside were told to hide in bedrooms and lock their doors.
Those in the hotel were terrified by what occurred outside and inside the hotel when the building was entered. When the fires were deliberately set, they thought they were about to die.
Levi Fishlock, wearing a grey tracksuit, showed no emotion in court. Family members in the public gallery appeared to be in tears as he was taken down.
Fishlock initially told police he'd been arrested for a good cause. He becomes the 80th person to be sentenced for the disorder which cast a shadow over this ordinarily peaceful suburb of South Yorkshire. Phil Bodmer, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Next night, the NHS says hospitals are being hit by a tidal wave of flu. It means more and more beds are being taken up by those with winter viruses. Here in Yorkshire, 95% of beds are occupied across our 11 hospital trusts. Our reporter Heidi Tomlinson has been to one A&E department where patients have been warned to expect to wait for up to 6 hours before being seen by a doctor.
An influx of illness. Huddersfield Royal Infirmary is much busier than this time last year. The hospital is full. Some patients are waiting hours to be seen and admitted.
So the waiting rooms got busier throughout the morning, and what we have seen throughout the week is hours of 20 to 25 patients per hour attending for multiple hours of the day.
There are very few seats left for people to take.
Unfortunately, that's not uncommon. We are seeing more and more patients attend, which again does result in a lack of space within the waiting room for patients to wait to be seen by a doctor.
So what's the current situation here? You put a message out on social media telling people to expect very long waiting times. How many hours would that be?
We're seeing 60 more patients per day than we were the same week last year. We have seen patients wait up to 5-6 hours to see a clinician, but again, we do always ultimately make sure that the sickest patients who attend and need medical attention immediately are seen as a priority.
OK, so we've had to come out of this cubicle now, Tom, because it's needed for a patient.
Yeah, so this is our resus room. That's now all of our cubicles full. This space is used for the most critically unwell patients that need life-saving intervention, and all of these rooms are now full.
This week, 96% of beds are occupied in Huddersfield and Calderdale hospitals. It makes for a prolonged transition from A&E to ward.
We've got this patient, mental health, awaiting bed, and she's been here for 17 hours.
Why do you think it is more busy this year than it was last? I mean, the NHS are talking about a tidal wave of flu. Is that something you're experiencing?
We are seeing some patients present with flu. There are also patients who present with pneumonias and sepsis and those respiratory illnesses. We do tend to see spike in winter. I think one thing we have noted is that spike seems to have felt as if it's come a little bit earlier this year.
So what's your advice? If people come to A&E, they're clearly feeling very poorly and they want immediate medical attention.
Absolutely. I think the key message is today is that we're here and we're here to support patients that are critically unwell and need our services. One piece of advice we always give is that there are other services available. They can be accessed through the 111 online.
Do you think some people can't get a GP appointment?
I think there are challenges throughout the system, and I think that's why I would always advise those patients to use those signposting services.
Nationally, numbers of flu patients in hospital are 3 times higher than last year. People are being urged to get vaccinated to relieve pressure on the NHS. Heidi Tomlinson, BBC Look North, Huddersfield.
You are watching Thursday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. After the fall of the dictatorship in their home country, we hear from Syrians who found safety here in Yorkshire. Let's take a look at some of the stories coming into our newsroom now. A man who helped to flip a police car during an evening of riots in Leeds earlier this year has been jailed. Daniel Constantin was sentenced at Leeds Crown Court to 26 months in prison after helping to overturn a smashed police car in Hare Hills earlier in the summer. He's pictured here wearing a blue T-shirt. The incident was one of several which broke out after 4 children were taken into care by social services. The death of a man killed by a woman who had escaped from a secure hospital was preventable, his family told an inquest today. 74-year-old Roger Leadbeater was killed by Emma Borrowy as he walked his dog in a park in Sheffield in August last year. A serious incident review following Mr Leadbeater's death found the doctor in charge of Miss Borrowy's care went against policy by allowing her to leave the hospital. Mr Leadbeater's niece, Angela Hector, said, "My only hope would be that no other family goes through what we have been put through." A children's hospice in Huddersfield that launched an appeal to raise £1 million to help save services has reached its first funding milestone. Forget Me Not hit the £100,000 mark earlier this week as part of an appeal to help the hospice after an increase in staffing and energy costs. It comes after bosses also announced that up to 16 people could face redundancy to cut costs. Now, this week, the Assad regime in Syria fell and allied rebel factions took over. An estimated 14 million Syrians were displaced, with many seeking sanctuary across the world. Some found safety right here in Yorkshire and are still coming to terms with the end of the dictatorship that they fled. Our reporter Charles Heslett has been speaking to some of them.
Razan Al-Sous fled Syria in 2012 with her 3 children and husband. She eventually settled in Huddersfield, where she created a successful business. But she still kept her old passport, some Syrian currency, and the key to her front door of her old family home in the capital, Damascus. Now, almost 13 years later, she has allowed herself to dream of returning home.
I've been strong all these years because I can't feel, I don't want to feel or remember anything I couldn't build a future. I couldn't make a business. I couldn't make a life for my children, my family, if I want to feel this. But it looks like now it's the moment. It's the time to go.
Razan said she will never forget the warm reception the people of West Yorkshire gave her family in their hour of need.
Thank you for all countries. Thank you for the UK. It's now it's my home. It's part of me. I'm proudly a Yorkshire woman now. I love people who accepted us. They made us they made us feel that it's our home.
There are an estimated 30,000 Syrians still settled in the UK. Mohammed Isreb left just before the civil war erupted and now calls Bradford home.
I remember 3:30 seeing the news on Al Jazeera, the flash news that Assad has left Syria, and that's when just basically I started crying. It was amazing, and I stayed up I think till 6 a.m. because everybody was congratulating everybody. Sorry, I'm getting emotional now, but you know, it was just amazing news. 15 years in making almost. So.
For Mohammed, Razan and thousands like them, they now have a new hope for their country.
I don't know what will happen next. The fear is that they might start now, you know, fighting together or something like that. That will be the worst scenario and Syria gets split. My hope is that they will come together, and what we are hearing, not that kind of nice, you know, way that they are phrasing it now, it will continue and will end up a civic democratic society again.
We are like hoping that HTS are really honest people. We're hoping that they are so far they are doing what they are promising, but we want that to continue.
Charles Heslett, BBC Look North.
Let's hear now from Nabil Watfar. He's from Syria and from the Syrian Association in Yorkshire. He moved here in 2001. I asked him for his reaction to the developments in his home country.
Just like most of the Syrians, I believe everybody is happy for the last regime to fall out, and we got rid of a stage of Syria that was totally black stage. Everybody wants to forget that stage. But again, we are facing unknown stage. We don't know what's going ahead, what's going to happen, especially those people who are in the power today. They don't have much of a good history. We have really a bad history with them. They are trying to show a very good treatment to Syrians. They are providing some food, they are providing some materials for heating that Syrians has missed for a while. In a way, there is a comfort. All I can say, with the previous regime, we had no hope. Today, we might have a hope.
You do have a lot of family and friends who are in Syria.
Definitely.
Does this make you want to go home?
I always wanted to go home. It's cold here in England.
It certainly is.
I always wanted to go back. The last 15 years I couldn't go to Syria. My mom passed away on 2017, and on that occasion I found that my name was wanted on the borders, so I couldn't go back.
What are your family and friends over there telling you?
They're annoyed with me. They're annoyed with me because I sound like against the people who are in the power today. Although I'm not against them, but I'm just trying to be conscious for them because they are under their power. They are a bit scared. I'm pretty sure it's safe to go. But it's safe to go and settle. There's not the minimum level of security today, which is understandable at this stage. But that's one of the things that I'm waiting for before I make my mind about visiting Syria.
Nabil, do keep us posted, won't you? And thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Let's move on to some sport now and a quick look at last night's football. The one important championship match Job done, Sheffield United. The Blades grabbed the win that they needed at Millwall and are back at the top of the table. Ryan Brewster scored the only goal of the match late in the first half. It was his first goal for more than 2 years. Leeds United moved down to second place as a result of the Blades' win. My little boy will not be happy at that. And some young footballers competing in Huddersfield today at the EFL Girls Cup tournament got a bit of a surprise when their medals were presented by Huddersfield Town chairman Kevin Nagle. The Terriers' Californian owner had landed in Yorkshire for a brief stay before Christmas. He visited the club's foundation today and has more than one eye on Saturday's home match against Lincoln.
Priority is to, on Saturday, go to the match and see 3 points. And then at the same time, wish all of our employees here a Merry Christmas or whatever holiday they celebrate, and then really come back in the new year and smash the second half to a...
Now, we'll keep it with the sporting theme. An 83-year-old man who introduced one of the fastest growing sports in the UK to hundreds of people in York has been recognised as Yorkshire's unsung hero in the BBC Sports Personality of the Year Awards. Keith Grange runs dozens of pickleball sessions for people of all ages. Now, if you've never heard of it, it's a combination of badminton, tennis and table tennis. Many who attend the activity say it's given them a new lease of life. My dad is obsessed with it. He plays 3 times a week. We sent our reporter Michelle Lyons along to one of his sessions in Copmanthorpe to present him with his award.
I haven't been warmed up, you know. No, get on with it.
Keith Grange from Copmanthorpe near York started organising pickleball games during the pandemic when 2 of his friends in their 80s were left without anywhere to play. He set about securing a venue and, having played himself for many years, he thought he'd encourage others to join in the fun. But little did he know how popular it had become.
Good serve.
Now, at the age of 83, he's got more than 300 people signed up to the sport, which is why his friend and fellow pickler, Tony McGale, nominated Keith to be Sports Personality of the Year, Yorkshire's Unsung Hero 2024.
I had to nominate a guy because what he's done in York and setting up pickleball is amazing. And he's changed so many people's lives for it, including mine. Every day he's got sessions on. He's got over 300 people playing in York because of him. 6 different venues at 20 different sessions. And it's incredible.
And now Keith is finally being recognised for all his hard work.
Hi Keith, sorry to interrupt your session. We'd just like to award you with the BBC Sports Personality of the Year Yorkshire Unsung Hero Award. Congratulations. How are you feeling about winning the award?
Well, I think it's brilliant. You know, so thankful that people have put me forward for this, and I accept it gladly. Thank you.
When I got a stroke 18 months ago, Keith was the only one who was kind enough to let me come and join his sessions. So I'm very grateful to him for that.
It's marvellous, really good. Meet lots of people, have fun, and it's good exercise too, so yeah, it's brilliant. Really pleased for him.
It's beyond my wildest dreams. I don't really need awards to do what I'm doing, but it's a nice thing that people think so well of me.
Keith has also been invited to the BBC Sports Personality of the Year ceremony next week, where he's in the running for the National Unsung Hero Award. Michelle Lyons, BBC Look North.
Very well done, Keith, and best of luck at the awards ceremony. We're talking now about school reunions. Do you loathe them? Well, a group of women we're about to meet absolutely love them because they've known each other for 65 years. And for the last 25, they've been meeting up every single year at the Yorkshire Sculpture Park. Look at all these gorgeous photos of them. Kathy Killick has been to meet them.
It doesn't matter that it's chilly when the friendships are so warm, and a spot of drizzle won't keep these ladies from their date at the Yorkshire Sculpture Park. They've been coming here every year since 1998. They've even kept the brochure from their first visit.
It's a central point for us all to meet up, and the grounds are so beautiful.
Even when we had to sit outside during COVID, it was lovely sitting out there having a picnic. It was the perfect place.
It's allowed 25 years of catching up and good times because they've found there's no substitute for meeting up face to face.
We keep in touch on our WhatsApp group. You wouldn't believe how many messages we send, and yet we still have 6 hours worth of talking to do when we get here. And because it's so lovely, it's so relaxed, we can sit and hog a table for a full day if we wanted to and go away and come back and there's another table ready for us. I really look forward to coming here.
So what forged this special bond? Well, 2 of them were born days apart in the same hospital, and they all met at the age of 4 when they started at Polham Hall, a Quaker girls' school in Darlington.
Well, I wonder whether it was our experience of being at a girls' school for our whole school life. I mean, that's very rare in this day and age, to go from kindergarten to sixth form without changing schools. So I guess we had more of a bond than most children do these days.
Friendship and the location remain constant, but the years fall away as they meet time and again.
We've all had children and grandchildren now, so I think we're eager and keen to sort of find out what everybody's been doing. We don't always just talk about the past. We talk about, what's been going on in the last year.
It's just an amazing bond and friendship that is very special, and I think I'm going to well up because I love them.
It's a 65-year friendship and counting, all watched over by the sculptures. What a rare gift, and well worth the annual effort. Cathy Gillick, BBC Look North, at the Yorkshire Sculpture Park.
That's true friendship, isn't it? And long may it continue. Have you done your shopping yet? It's less than 2 weeks to go till Christmas, so we are making the most of all the gorgeous festive lights that have been switched on. Tonight we're in Leeds City Centre at the Queen's Hotel because it's been transformed with a spectacular show about a certain little gingerbread man. Corinne Wheatley is there for us. Corinne, I'm really jealous because I love all this kind of stuff.
Oh, me too, Amy, yes, especially on a cold, drizzly winter night like this. I think the sight of all the Christmas lights is such a welcome sight when you're making your way home from work. And of course, right now it's a time when you've got tens of thousands more people coming into Leeds City Centre to go and do their Christmas shopping or to come to the Christmas market. So, in Leeds, they've tried to organise something a little bit out of the ordinary, a little bit special to delight and entertain all those extra visitors. The Queen's Hotel, very well known city landmark behind me, has become the canvas for a new animation especially designed for the city. It features a gingerbread man, as you say, and the Queen's Hotel. But to tell you a bit more about that, let's hear from the scriptwriter Lisa Holdsworth and Geordie, who is from the Onion Lab, which is the Spanish company that created this animation especially for Leeds.
So if anybody saw last year's, you'll know that there was a very naughty character in it called the Gingerbread Man. Well, he must have been very good this year because now he's working at the Queen's Hotel and he's helping put on a massive party for all the guests. And the guests this year are people that you will recognise from a famous carol, The 12 Days of Christmas.
We changed the role of the gingerbread man that we had last year, so this year it's the bellboy. And we are really happy because we hope that all the people coming to see the mapping will enjoy it a lot.
Well, Geordie also told us that it takes about 4 or 5 months to make an animation like this, involving a team of around 10 or 12 people to work on it. And they said that the Queen's Hotel was a great canvas to work on because of the style of the building. Well, we've been here this evening since the animation started running a little bit earlier on. Lots of people stopping to take photos and videos, which is exactly what the organisers want because they're wanting to make Leeds stand out as a destination at this time of year. Here's Andrew from the Leeds Business Improvement District.
We started it last Christmas. We wanted to do something different and project on what is the canvas of the city, which is the Queen's Hotel. Everybody comes through this space. And we did a gingerbread house last year. And as soon as we finished that, people said, are you going to bring it back for next year? So it's sort of a 12-month process. It's a free event. People can come down to the city centre and enjoy it. It's an eight-minute show. It's on a cycle between now and the 22nd of December. And why people are enjoying Christmas, enjoying their shopping, coming into the shopping centres, enjoying their Christmas night outs. the projection will be on, and it just adds that bit of warmth and feeling and Christmas spirit that we want in the city centre. And ultimately what the Business Improvement District is about, we're a not-for-profit, non-political organisation that's about our city. We want to do good things that are free for people of Leeds, and that's what we've done with this projection.
Well, the projection is running on a cycle every evening over the next 11 nights, so there's lots of chances to see it. And I think last year around 200,000 people came to see it last year, so they're hoping for similar numbers this year.
Oh, Corinne, I'll be there. That sounds lovely. Thank you very much. 11 nights to see it. Get yourself down there. It's free. What's not to like about a free event?
Well, I went last year, and I'm not just
obviously
saying
because it's free.
It was free, but it was absolutely spectacular. So definitely recommended. Right, somebody saw the sun today. I can't believe it, but that was this afternoon, just outside Scarborough. That is the sun. Most of us won't see it until Saturday, but it is on its way. The second picture is, well, it's very atmospheric, isn't it? Although it's been misty and murky and drizzly. I quite like that full wood in Sheffield. Thanks to Raquel for sending that one in. If you've got any pictures, the addresses are on your screen right now. So if you're fed up with this miserable weather, we've got one more day to go before the sun makes an appearance on Saturday. That said, tomorrow, although it will be cloudy, not quite as dull and dismal as it has been today, and there is even a chance of a bit of brightness, but it will feel cold. At least it should be generally dry. So high pressure eventually giving way. This cold front's really important. Behind it, much clearer air. It comes down Saturday morning, so increasingly sunny, I think, during Saturday. This warm front introducing more cloud on Sunday, a bit of patchy rain at first, but it will become dry, breezy, but a lot milder. Temperatures into double figures by Sunday afternoon. Now you can see all the cloud on the latest satellite picture, and in fact it's a really low cloud base. I've just checked at the airport, Leeds Bradford Airport. It's thick fog up there, and there's a lot of fog across Trans-Pennine routes as well. Some drizzle, a little bit of patchy light rain, but once that moves out of the way later tonight, that cloud base should recover. Looks like much of the fog will lift, but it will stay cloudy, and we'll see temperatures coming in at around about 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. So tomorrow's high water time, Scarborough at 1:39, Bridlington at 2 a.m. in the morning. So another cloudy day, but on the whole, it should be dry. There should be less fog. And if you're very lucky, there might be just a little bit of brightness coming through the clouds, and at least it will be dry. Now, the average for mid-December is around about 7, so that's the temperature for tomorrow. Nevertheless, it will feel cold in that light southeast breeze. Saturday then, blue sky and sunshine. Look at that. Sunday, though, a damp start, brightening up, and it turns mild. And that's the way of it for early next week.
I thought we were ditching weather pictures in favour of festive pets.
Yes, well, I didn't have any tonight, so hopefully we'll get more for next week.
Get them in. I'm going to buy a tiny little hat and put it on the chickens.
Right.
Something we've never
Good luck
seen
with
before.
that.
Keep sending them in. Good night.